The Karate Kid franchise will get another movie. Yes, you heard that right, the Miyagi-verse is extending and we're heading back to the dojo. A classic remake is always a challenging task, and it's made even more difficult when the remake in question is a cultural icon on par with the Karate Kid. As far as remakes go though, Will Smith's 2010 version of The Karate Kid, which stars Jaden Smith, manages to both honor its inspiration and carve out a unique niche by moving the actor to China. After his father passes away and his mother accepts a job overseas, Dre, then 12 years old, is forcibly relocated from Detroit. It only takes a few minutes for Dre to become the victim of a local judo thug and is equally bullying thugs. Of course, not all is lost because Dre has evolved feelings for a local girl named Mei Ying and has caught the attention of Mr. Han, the building's maintenance worker, who we are all aware is not always who he seems to be. Dre is saved by Mr. Han, who takes him under his wing as a student of Kung Fu and trains him for a Kung Fu competition against his tormentors. Any adaptation of The Karate Kid will succeed or fail based on the quality of the relationship between its respective Mr. Miyagi and Daniel-san, and in the end, that turns out to be the remake's greatest asset. The film's climactic tournament, where Dre and Cheng first face off against each other on a Lei Tai, raises the stakes in terms of drama. They exert a relentless energy that most adults would find harsh on each other, really putting each other through the ringer. Just as it reshaped Mr. Han's training methodology, the film dances to its beat by ditching the original's no-can-defend crane kick in favor of something a little more cerebral, and while the execution is perhaps a little on the fantastical side, it's still a solid crowd-pleaser. Despite the mixed reviews and popularity of the 2010 Karate Kid reboot, it brought in close to $400 million at the box office. This might be the perfect time to bring the Karate Kid series back to the big screen, given the franchise's recent rise thanks to Cobra Kai. According to reports, the film will be released on June 7, 2024 as the return of the original Karate Kid franchise to the big screen. The upcoming movie, which will be the first in the series since the Jaden Smith-led reboot in 2010, will not be related to Netflix's Cobra Kai series, according to the show's co-creator John Hurwitz. So far, the franchise has introduced us to 5 films, the first of which was released in 1984, starring Pat Morita as Mr. Miyagi, followed by 1986's The Karate Kid Part 2, 1989's The Karate Kid Part 3, the fourth film in 1994, and the most recent, a 2010 remake film starring both Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan as the 2 lead characters. The most recent installment of the franchise was Cobra Kai. Not just any continuation, but the best show on Netflix right now. First debuted in 2018 as a YouTube original, Cobra Kai brought back the legendary Macchio and Zabka, so let's find out whether they'll be back for the next Karate Kid movie.
What do you say we team up again?
You want me to help Miyagi to win?
Miyagi?
Nothing concrete has been said about the film because so many details have yet to be released, both about the film itself and its theatrical release, as well as all of the people involved. In the remake of The Karate Kid, Jackie Chan, a legendary martial artist played by Mr. Hans, and Jaden Smith played by Dre Parker, a 12-year-old boy who struggles after moving to Beijing from Detroit. Despite the cast not yet being revealed, Chan will almost certainly return to the role of Hans in The Karate Kid 2. Jackie Chan has previously declared his desire to be involved and his strong interest in the project. The difficult question to answer is whether Jaden Smith will come back to play Dre again. This might be a problem now that Smith is 24 years old. Ralph Macchio also discussed the potential for spin-offs or prequels in the massive Miyagi-verse, describing the upcoming film as a step in that direction and Sony's desire to profit from the Cobra Kai series' rising popularity, even if in slightly different ways. Before we go any further, we wanted to let you know that it's time for you to smash that like button if you haven't done it already. The series tapped into the entire legacy of the Karate Kid films, bringing back characters like Mike Barnes or even Chosen, some of the most well-known from the original Karate Kid franchise, as well as people like Jessica Andrews or even Terry Silver, and bringing them to the big screen after all this time. The most logical course of action for the movie would be for it to continue the events of the series. The reboot allowed us to learn about Dre Parker and Mr. Han, while the original trilogy introduced us to Daniel LaRusso and Mr. Miyagi. In both movies, the young protagonists train in martial arts competitions, learn self-defense with assistance of their mentors, and confront bullies. Even the creative team at Cobra Kai seemed surprised when a new Karate Kid movie was announced. Naturally, Cobra Kai continues the Miyagi-verse that was started with The Karate Kid in 1984, which resulted in 2 additional films, The Karate Kid Part 2 and Part 3. Sony's claim that the upcoming film would return the original Karate Kid franchise is intriguing considering that the 1984 film The Karate Kid franchise is still alive today thanks to Netflix's popular Cobra Kai series and stars Ralph Macchio as Daniel LaRusso and William Zabka as Johnny Lawrence, continuing their roles from the original 1984 film The Karate Kid. If The Karate Kid 2024 reboots the well-known story, the film will likely retell Daniel LaRusso's meeting with Mr. Miyagi and his high school conflict with Cobra Kai, but set in the present day. However, recasting the core roles of Daniel LaRusso and Mr. Miyagi, as well as the other major supporting players such as Daniel Rival's son's Johnny Lawrence, is unavoidable. Ralph Macchio's return to the role of Daniel LaRusso was a key component of Cobra Kai's success, so it would be difficult to sell audiences on a Karate Kid movie that promised to uphold the honor of the original film series without him. The same goes for William Zabka, who plays Johnny Lawrence alongside him. This course of action, though, might be the least well-liked one among the fans. Would audiences accept a newcomer like Daniel LaRusso? More difficult to predict is who will replace Pat Morita as Mr. Miyagi. Cobra Kai Revered Daniel Y. Sands Sensei instead of making an attempt to recast Mr. Miyagi. A Karate Kid remake or reboot generally seems like a bad idea, given how well-liked Cobra Kai is. A third choice would be to create a new narrative that is loosely based on the Miyagi-verse and branch out from the original Karate Kid movie franchise. Hilary Swank, who played Julie Pierce in the next Karate Kid, might even make a cameo appearance in this new Karate Kid film. As of right now, Hilary Swank is the only surviving Karate Kid lead legacy character who hasn't already appeared in Cobra Kai. A new Karate Kid film starring Swank in the Miyagi-like mentor role could entice the Oscar-winning to return to the franchise while also satisfying the requirement that the new film is part of the original Karate Kid movie franchise. Additionally, it could present a fresh narrative that wouldn't conflict with Cobra Kai's events. With no synopsis, cast, or other details beyond the announcement date and declaration of the original franchise's return, one can only speculate that a new Karate Kid film can both build on the established Miyagi-verse narrative while also carving out its own space by expanding the landscape of Miyagi's mentorship, past pupils, and the vast scope of his history before and after the franchise's timeline. And because of this, you need to smash that subscribe button and notification bell so you'll never miss any of our videos in the future. It's unknown if The Karate Kid 2024 is a reboot, reimagining, or reunion, but it can be assumed that there will be some connection in the form of recurring characters and significant roles. It will be intriguing to see the approach Sony takes with the upcoming Karate Kid film. See you in the next video.